sur la voiture numéro 75. Zenigard et Heinemeyer est en
Well, it's a beautiful morning down here at Spa with blue sky and sunshine, and we're ready for the first of the Maserati Trofeo races. Here is our pole sitter. It's his first pole position in the Trofeo. If we can just open the door and just ask him 1 second. It's your first pole position in the championship, and you're feeling good?
Yeah, the car's feeling good. I'm feeling good, so I hope I can do the race very well, and maybe I can take the first win this year.
And of course the circuit is perfect this morning with the dry conditions. It's very quick.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Best of luck, thank you very much. Well, there is our pole sitter. He's certainly feeling confident for the start of the race. Alongside me here on 9th on the grid is Nico Omerson, and if we can just grab a quick word with him. He's from Belgium, I believe. It's a beautiful circuit here at Spa.
It's fantastic. It's always great to drive here.
Is this your home circuit?
It is, yes. I live in Belgium, yeah.
And of course it's a very quick start up through Eau Rouge. It's flat out along the Camel Straight.
I hope so.
I wish you the best of luck in the race. Thank you.
Thank you.
On pole position then, Mauro Calamia alongside Ruben Coupens, the champion from last year, as they head down towards the start and finishing line to get this Championship World Series underway. The green lights flash and we are racing at Spa, the WEC Championship ready to race later on, but it's all focus on Maserati at the moment as they go into La Source for the first time. The 23 car there going around the outside. Oh, we've got a spinner. Oh, and that's our poleman. That is Calamia, who is facing the wrong direction. He's collected a few other cars as well. I think Siegler was involved, the number 5 machine. And somehow Mauro has been able to continue and get the car back underway. He's a good 10-15 seconds back, but he don't think he had contact with anybody else either. Here we go on board, further back in the pack with the number 28 machine of Cecchellero. And he's trying to pass Simone De Luca with those white car with blue stripes, holds on for the moment. Just ahead, Coupens in 4th position. And 3rd is the 23 car of Simone, just a little bit under pressure. And then Gabriel Gardel in 2nd. Everyone at the moment following Ragazzi, though, who leads this race for the Swiss team. Now down to Pouon for the first time. Coupens still having a look down the inside of the 23 machine, but can't find a way through for the moment. Simone holding on, a little bit of dirt and dust being kicked up through the exit of Pouon as they go down to Fagnes now. And a small gap between Coupens there in 4th position and then our blue striped machine, the 53 machine of Simone De Luca, being chased down in 6th position by this man, our onboard cameraman, Andrea Cecchellero. Now down towards the old part of the circuit. Remember Spa, the Grand Prix venue from the early 1960s and the old track. This still part of it. A flat-out run back towards the bus stop chicane and then onto the start and finish line again. Incredibly fast, and Ragazzi makes a little bit of a mistake through Blanchiment, and that's going to allow Gardel to have a go. Just has a sniff down the inside, but can't make any moves at the moment. Further back, our man Homerson being challenged, I think, past there by Mancini in the yellow machine, the number 11 car. So Fabio Mancini then moves up to 7th position. And here is the poleman, Calamia, who is now in 14th spot as he crosses the line for the first time. A huge amount of work to do after that spin at the first corner. As you can see, tensing his head, kicking the steering wheel and trying to get the car to go faster and faster. Huge amount of work to do, as he said, but he is lapping much faster than anyone else. And he does have great pace. Now, challenge for third position once again. Koopmans having a look down the outside of Simoni into the end of the Kemmel Straight and manages to make it stick. But can he get the car slowed down? No, he can't. Ragazzi locked up ahead of him, as did Gardel. And I think that Koopmans just sort of got dragged into that one. And he's now lost that third spot and fallen very much into the clutches of De Luca. Simone De Luca in the 53 machine, and then our on-board cameraman sitting in 6th position behind in the 28 car. Back on board with him. Through no-name corner. Speaker's corner, it's called in Belgium. It's about the only corner that the commentary box can actually see. And now we run down to Pouin. You see the map as well on the inside the car. That's so that the drivers can talk to their engineers about which corner they are feeling what. It's not to tell them where they're going as such, but more a reference point when they get back into the pits and engineer these fantastic Trofeo machines. Just a reminder, this is the first round of the championship. They'll be racing at Spa, then at the Hungaro Ring, supporting the DTM there for the first time. DTM goes to Hungary, and Maserati will be there as well. And then Silverstone alongside the GT Open Series in the middle of July, and then they start flying further afield for the second half of the year to America, to China, and eventually to Abu Dhabi, a real World Series this year. On board with Calamir. He's staring at the back of the number 30 machine of Roberto Silva, and Silva's sitting in 11th position at the moment. Let's just listen how confident he is to Blanchimont. Big break from Silva. And Calamir can just run so much more speed through there now on the bumper and down the inside into 11th spot. Should have that move pretty much sorted. Oh, Silva tries to go around the outside, but that meant his braking was too late. Back on the power and down towards the start line for another time. This is our battle for the lead. Still Ragazzi leads up through Eau Rouge with Gardel in 2nd position. And then Simoni in 3rd spot with Koopmans 4th, De Luca, and then Cecchellero. Cecchellero looks to the right-hand side to see De Luca on the inside of him, but can he get the braking done later to move into 5th position? He's tried a few laps and he has managed to make it stick. Oh, and Gardel looks to the inside as well of Ragazzi to move into the lead, but he's been compromised through there, and now through the second half of this sector, he's going a lot slower. Trying to go round the outside is that 23 machine. Simoni can't make it stick, runs wide, and in fact that opens up the door for Cecchellero to see if he can make a move. We ride on board with him. I think a little bit of contact. So Koopmans managed to get through, but it doesn't look like Andrea has. Gonna have to sit behind and find another way through. Now Koopmans looks to the inside for 2nd position on Gardel. But a bit of a lock up, the inside unladen wheel. Just momentarily stopping spinning and smoking away. Now Koopmans has really got a problem with that inside front right. Turns in, locks up. Simoni running a little bit wide, and that surely is going to allow Cecchellero to get his foot down. A little adjustment there of the brake bias, I think. Down with his right hand. And now through this flat out section, the brake bias being moved because in preparation for the bus stop chicane, one of the biggest braking zones here at Spa. And I think he may have thought he had the opportunity to go down the inside, but somehow Simoni has managed to jet off into the distance. So there's De Luca, then Mancini behind, and Homerson still holding on. Now Homerson looks to the outside of Mancini. Can he make that stick? Fabio's only run. Oh, is there going to be contact on the exit of the corner? They're very close, but Homerson's just about managed it. A lovely move from the local man. And now we go back on board with Cecchellero just ahead through Eau Rouge. Drops 1 gear just to keep the torque and momentum up of these fantastic engines. And he sits there in 4th spot now. No, 5th spot. Saying Fabio Mancini shares the car this weekend, as drivers can do in this championship, because normally there are 3 races. Only 2 races here this weekend. And there is his teammate, the 35 machine of Mario Calamia. A pole position man who spun at the start of the race has now made it up into the top 10 once again. Alberto Cola in the 4 machine with a bit of damage. And he's managed to pass him now for 8th. Through Pont for another time. There's plenty more action to come from the Maseratis in Spa. Welcome back to Spa for the Maserati Trofeo World Series, and we've got a real race on for the opening round here as Gabriel Gardel comes down the inside of Riccardo Ragazzi to take the lead of the race. The pace of Ragazzi falling off the last couple of laps. He's been really struggling, lots of pressure, and oh, here comes Mauro Calamia round the outside of Homerson. Nico Homerson falling backwards. And somehow Mauro still has fantastic pace in his machine. Spun at the start from pole position, has been dropped to dead last, and he's now well inside the top 10 positions. I think that's now put him in 7th spot. And you can see in one shot now, the leader of the race, Gabriel Gardel, and Mauro Calamia at the back. He can only be about 7 to 10 seconds away from the lead of the race. Surely he can't get all the way up to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars as a row. Been lots of battling all the way through this race, and I fear it's not settled yet. There's plenty of action still to come from these guys. On board with Cecchilero. He lies in 5th position, sitting watching brief at the front 4 cars, and as Ragazzi runs wide once again, the drivers complaining on long runs that they have a lot of understeer, and that's exactly what happens through Stavelot. You expect the car to go one way, and it just continues to wash out. Here comes Ruben Coupens down the inside, surely not a Blanchimont. No, gets on the brakes and pulls the anchors on, and surely that's now going to allow Simoni to come around the outside. Alan Simoni brakes late. Can he get round the outside this first part? He can. He squeezes Coupens onto the curb. And that's a lovely move. Now he just needs to be careful with the acceleration. These cars do have traction control, but work best when you moderate the accelerator rather than just stamp on it. And Coupens wants that place back, puts the outside of La Source. Then we have Cecchilero and De Luca behind. And a little bit of breathing space now for Gabriel Gardel, who leads the race. Riccardo Ragazzi in 2nd. And while Coupens and Simoni battle for this 3rd spot, Ragazzi can relax just a little bit. The race 50 minutes long, 5-0. 2 of them here at Spa this weekend. And here's a replay of Simoni going around the outside of Coupens. Give him space and then take the apex of the next part of the corner. Lovely move from Alan Simoni. Oh, and Coupens' car really moving around underneath him. One of the spectacular parts of these Trofeo cars is just how much they slide around on their Pirelli tyres. Really requiring a lot of the driver. Not easy to keep on the road, and we've got a good 22 cars in the championship this year, all fighting out for championship honours. Normally 3 races, 2 30-minute races and then a longer 1-hour race, and that can be obviously shared between 2 drivers. One driver does 1 race in the short ones, and then they do an endurance normally on the Sunday. But here in the WEC at Spa, it's a Saturday race. There's no racing on Sunday at all, and therefore limited track time means 2 50-minute races for these guys, and that's a lot of work to do, especially in one day. So all these drivers are going to have to do at least 1 hour and 40 minutes work if they want to get to both checkered flags. Now, it looks like Ruben Coupens has really lost the pace. He and Riccardo Ragazzi, who understeers wide once again through Stavolo. Have really used a lot of their tyres in the early stages. Ragazzi now side by side with Simoni. Ragazzi's going to have the inside line through Blanchimont. Surely Simoni's not going to try and go round the outside, although he's off, 4 wheels off as he turns into the corner. Ragazzi straddles the curb on the exit, and it's no change for the moment. Further back. Oh, De Luca gets forced onto the curb. It's all getting very, very scrappy. It's an early morning here at Spa. Some of these drivers I'm not sure have quite woken up. Either way, all of this scrapping is allowing Gabriel Gardel to continue to stretch the lead. And at the back of the pack now is the man that took pole position, Mauro Calamia. First pole position in the Maserati Trofeo series at the first round of the championship. And here's our onboard cameraman, Cecchilero, going through Eau Rouge. Flat out through that left kink, first part of it, then drop a gear as the weight and gravity of the car pulls you slower through Eau Rouge, and then get the foot flat down because you've got this 1 kilometre Kemmel straight to try and keep the momentum going. Alan Simoni taking second position from Ragazzi. Coupens still holding at bay De Luca and Cecchilero, and that is all slowing them up and allowing Calamia to get ever closer. I think now with Gardel at the front of the field, it's going to be difficult for Calamia to get into the lead of the race, but he's still very much got a chance of a podium position because these are the podium fighters at the moment. From second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh positions all together. What an opening round to the Maserati Trofeo series. Through Pouon. Again, a very tricky corner. Got to get the balance right. And Cecchilero looking to try and find a way through. Oh, Coupens is locked up. I think he's slightly distracted by Simoni ahead. Just about holds on through Fagnes. So it was Ragazzi, of course, not Simoni, and Ragazzi's locking tires all over the place. Oh, runs very, very wide. That slows him up, and here comes down the inside Cecchilero. Oh, and he's made a contact with Coupens, and Coupens gone off into the gravel trap. It's slowed Cecchilero down. It's allowed De Luca up into the inside, and he now moves into fourth position. But how much damage is done to the 28 machine we ride on board with now? And what about Coupens? For sure out of the race in the gravel trap, but how much contact did he make with the barriers? It's a quick turnaround, just 3 hours between races here at Spa, and that is going to be really tricky for our champion. So Simoni now has a break. He lies in second position, and it's Ragazzi that's the mobile chicane, really. The 53 car there of Simone De Luca. Now is the next man to hold off. Ragazzi doing such a good job in the early part of the race to hold on, but you've got to say, I think he's really shot his tyres. And everywhere, every single apex just seems to be a little bit slower than the rest. A few kilometres down, and it allows them to reel in. Now he just feints to the left right-hand side, but there is still a gap. And here comes De Luca. Eventually a pretty easy move. Ragazzi needs to be a lot more defensive than that if he wants to hold on. Oh, and a slight error, I think, as well from Cecchilero, the 28 machine there. Just looked like he lost a little bit of momentum through the first part. Oh, and now he's made contact with Ragazzi. Ragazzi goes wide, and having made contact with Coupens just a lap ago, he's now punted Ragazzi from third position, or fourth position, sorry, down to seventh. Very friendly at all. Calamia is sitting behind, watching all of this, and having the door very much opened up for him. You've got to praise the guy, though, considering he was facing backwards at the first corner. He's now very much on course for some good points, but also, potentially, he could get onto the podium here. What an amazing achievement that would be. It was a mistake further ahead from De Luca. A little twitch from Calamia. Oh, and more contact. Calamia goes off. Oh, he's going to get into the gravel trap. He spun into the gravel trap. Now you've got to keep the car moving. Oh, he's done well there. He's done well not to get stuck. Oh, but someone needs to be talking to Cecalero, because Andrea is driving a little bit outside of himself. That's contact with 3 cars in the matter of laps. There he is in the 28 car. He shares the car, in fact, with Matthias Bacher. And now the door is opened for him by Simone De Luca, who also now seems to be struggling. De Luca scampered off into the distance and seems to be going backwards now. Battle for 8th position here between the number 7 machine of Vasicolo and 18 of Lino Curti. And these guys have been at it for quite a while. I can tell you, we've been concentrating on what's been going on ahead, but it's been very, very entertaining, even if they're battling for 8th spot. And now look what's happened. Suddenly Gabriel Gardel has maybe used too much of his tyres, because here comes Alan Simoni. So many potential winners of this race, and it continues even in these late stages now. Ahead of them, Pierre-Marie Delena, who is looking to be lapped before the end of this race. And she'll be told to get out the way, hopefully, by the blue flags, because there is a battle on for the lead of the race. Alan Simoni, the challenger in the white machine, and Gabriel Gardel from Team Swiss. Oh, big lock-up from Delena ahead. And hopefully she'll get out of the way as Gardel exits the corner. Oh, he goes down the inside, onto the grass, and just about holds on to the car. But here comes Alan Simoni, surely with better momentum. He just can't get the overlap as they head towards Pouhon. Somehow, Gabriel Gardel holds on to that. Simoni now tries to go around the outside, but really that's going to be in vain. No chance to go around the outside there. But it's very, very close, even these late stages now. And somehow, Gardel hold on. Into Fagnes. Simoni looks to the inside, but there is no option there. Much, much cleaner through the piff-paff. As Gardel now with the rear end stepping out. Surely he has asked too much of his Pirelli tyres. There's not so long to go now as they head towards the back end of the circuit and head now towards home. Stavelot and Blanchimont on the bus stop chicane. No traffic to worry about anymore for Gardel. But Simoni just looks a lot faster. Much faster through Blanchimont. Surely now has a run to try and look down the inside. Gardel, though, desperately late on the brakes. Later than Simoni, and just about holds on. Simoni neater through the chicane, though. Better exit, and surely that will give him again another chance coming towards La Source. The last lap board goes out. And one more tour of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit to allow Simoni into the winning position. Gardel defends and then sort of decides against it. Moving around in the braking zone, which is not entirely on. And now Simoni will be thinking all about the Kemmel Straight, getting a nice run through Eau Rouge, sitting in the slipstream, and then when we get to Les Camps, making the move. Look how much neater he is through Radillon, over the brow of the hill, that spectacular rise. And now just sit in the slipstream and be patient. Looks like Gardel had a good run of things, though, on the exit at least, and Simoni doesn't look close enough to make a move this time by. That will be a relief to the Swiss man ahead, that's for sure. But it's the fiddly stuff where he's struggling with his Trofeo car now. The understeer really kicking in, and just look at that. Through 2 corners, suddenly Simoni's right back on his tail. Not even a car's length between them. Oh, that looked like a mistake, although apex a little bit later, and you will be able to get a better run through Speaker's Corner. Oh, and there on the right-hand side, just a quick glance of Simone De Luca's car, the 53 machine parked up. So a mechanical problem by the looks of things, and Simone De Luca, who was fighting early on, is now out of the race. Didn't see that on screen. And somehow Alan Simoni has sort of dropped off the back of this little challenge. Still looking very neat. It's now that he needs to start really turning the wick up. Through Stavelot and Blanchimont is suddenly a lot closer. This was a plan to hold back through the twisty stuff where he knew he couldn't pass, and now get a really neat exit through Stavelot. Oh, Gardel's car looks horrible in a handful as he just won't click up with that inside apex corner, and now continue to sprint down towards Blanchimont for the final time. This almost flat out when you've got good tyres, but surely a little down with a brake through Gardel just to keep the car settled, and now towards the braking zone at La Source, at the bus stop chicane. Simone looks to the inside, Gardel covers that again. He still can't make it stick. The checker flag flies, and Gabriel Gardel has taken victory just ahead of Alan Simone. That was incredibly close. Cecchellero finished up in third position with Mauro Calamia in fourth spot. Alberto Cola, Fabio Mancini rounded out the top six. Ragazzi dropping to seventh by the end. And that great battle with Lino Curti in eighth.
A fantastic race for you, but it wasn't easy by any means. And the last 4 or 5 laps were so hard.
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 laps were really hard. You know, I was pushing a little way in the middle of the race when I was taking the lead, but then I was without tires, and I have to try to finish the race as I can. Huge understeer, but in the end I did it, so it was really nice.
And for you, the experience here in Spa was important?
Yeah, for sure. Experience is the only thing that you can bring with you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gabriel Gardel, very experienced around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in many different disciplines, and now gets a chance to spray the champagne in the Maserati Trofeo series.
It's time for race 2 down here at Spa, and alongside me is Riccardo Ragazzi. Now, he did lead the first race for some time, but he had a problem with the tyres. Now, if we can just jump on in and have a quick word with him. Riccardo, your tyres went off in the first race partway through. What are you going to do to preserve them this time?
Oh, I try to start a little bit more slow and follow the first car, and don't try to make the same mistake this morning.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much. And like he says, he must think a little bit more in this race about the tyres and hope that he can get through and preserve them to maintain the front position on the grid through to a podium finish. Over here, we have Delina, who's one of our front-running Belgian drivers, driving at home here.
Oh, it's fantastic to drive here at home, especially for the 100 years of Maserati, you know, the opening race, and I did a fantastic qualifying, so hopefully the race will go well as well.
The first race, there was some problems at the start. I don't know if you were aware of what was going on, but hopefully this time it will be a little bit cleaner.
Well, unfortunately I had a bad qualifying because my car didn't work yesterday, but I wasn't in the mess, so from the back I didn't see anything and I just did my race.
Well, best of luck in this one. Thank you very much. Well, Delina were driving here at his home circuit, and again hoping to convert that to a podium finish. Now over here we come to Simona, who is on the grid alongside us here. Now, he had a second position in the first race, so he's hoping to convert that to another podium in this second race. But for now, let's once again go racing.
Indeed, and we are here at Spa for race 2. Just before the World Endurance Championship kicks off, we've got another 50-minute encounter for these boys, and a very, very nice start from Mauro Calamia. Made a big mistake in La Source this morning. Can he hold on here? Adrian Delena in that beautiful retro liveried machine, running very, very wide, and I think lost a huge amount of positions. Went into the corner in third position, has come out at the bottom of the top 10 spots. But we got side by side going through Eau Rouge, and Ragazzi has moved into the lead of the race ahead of Calamia. Very, very brave stuff from the Italian, and now he's going to have to sit on the inside line as we head towards Le Combe for the first time. On board with Calamia. He looks to the inside at the end of the Kemmel Straight, had a good slipstream, and that is deal done, surely. Mauro moving into the lead of the race ahead of Ragazzi, and Nico Homerson in third position, nearly made fourth by Cola. Alberto Cola stuffed his nose down the inside there, and I don't think Homerson knew anything about it until he turned in. There is our race 1 winner in the 50 machine, lying in 5th position, Gabriel Gardel. Some work to do for him. And then behind, Fascicolo in the 7 car, lying, in fact, in 7th position, ahead of De Luca, who retired from race 1. Fabio Mancini's handed over the 11 machine to Andrea Dromedari, and here is Mauro Calamia through the Fagna chicane. Now Alberto Cola looking very, very strong in this 4 machine. With Hommerson in his sights. Nico Hommerson didn't run well in race 1. He was on the fringes of the top 10 positions, and he's found himself up in 3rd spot at the start of this race. A great start, but now he's got Alberto Cola and Gabriel Gardel behind. Lots of lessons learned, by the way, in race 1 about tyres. Many of the drivers completely falling off a cliff at the end of the race, as we saw Ragazzi and even to an extent Gardel struggling at the end. And so don't expect them to be quite so fruitful with their pushing. Oh, as Hommerson makes a mistake, and I think he was actually looking to challenge Ragazzi there. Late on the brakes and now falling back into the clutches of Alberto Cola as we head across the start and finishing line. Cola lying 4th, then Gardel in 5th, and then Alan Simoni, who finished behind Gardel in that 2nd spot in race 1, lying there in 6th position. There is that beautiful livery. I love that from Adrian Delena. And he's having a nice little battle with Fascicolo and number 7 machine. Oh, De Luca taking a very ambitious line through Eau Rouge, taking curb and more. You really have to have faith in more machine. Might well be easy flat in a Formula 1 car, but in a GT machine like this, the car is constantly bouncing around and moving around. There's a lot of bumps in Eau Rouge, and it really is a bottom clencher every time you go, and you can see just how fast they go into it as well. Hommerson now with Gardel looking to try and make a move. This is a bit of a strange corner here, off camber on the entrance, and then it sort of sucks you in, so you can stick around the outside like Hommerson is doing, and that'll give him the inside line for this corner that doesn't have a name. Little bit of a fiddly section, those two, and now we come to much more of the character of the Spa circuit, a fast sweeping left-hander at Pouhon. Very, very different to where they'll be racing in a couple of weeks' time. At the Hungaroring, very fiddly circuit, the Hungaroring, and not easy to overtake. Will be about qualifying there, and then Silverstone sweeping again. Got the Virginia International Raceway in America, and then the Shanghai Formula 1 circuit in China, and finishing up with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix circuit sometime in December as a support race to the Gulf 12 Hours. Truly world-class series this year, supporting some of the best motorsport events around the world. World Touring Cars, DTM, and here with the World Endurance Championship. Ragazzi under pressure from Alberto Cola. Cola has a better run through Blanchimont, takes a little bit of curb there, and this is going to be a pass. Very, very nice stuff. Down the inside. No way that they were going to make a move. Oh, contact further back. Gardel and Hommerson getting side by side. Simoni following him through a little bit with De Luca just behind them, and I think they all went 4 in at the same time. Side by side, I think rear wings clattered. Hommerson now holding on to the inside line. Oh, Gardel just sweeps around the outside. Lovely stuff. And Alan Simoni now trying to find a way through as well. But Simoni's got that real tricky situation, trying to attack the guy in front of you because he's slowing you up, but also trying to defend because you've got De Luca right behind you. Simone De Luca trying to find a way past and get himself up into the top 6 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 machines, and from 2nd through to 7th in one long pack. Then Adrian Delena looking to the inside for 7th position. Fascicolo, these two have been fighting at it all afternoon and all morning because they were together in race 1. And there's that big slide on from Gardel. Rear wheel to rear wheel contact. Somehow Gardel managed to hold on. Yeah, and a little mistake there also from Hommerson locking that front end. Welcome back to Spa, the final part of the coverage of our Maserati Trofeo Series first weekend. And side by side, Hommerson gets muscled off the circuit by De Luca and Simoni. And what's going on there? Some sort of fingers coming out of the cockpit from Simoni. Obviously not very happy, Alan, with Nico Hommerson, because what's happened actually is Hommerson has really held them up. Gardel has got ahead of all of this pack and is up the road somewhere. Nico Hommerson found himself up in third position at the start of the race, somewhere where he wasn't in race one whatsoever. This is his local circuit, as he told Gemma at the start of race one. Now flicks through Le Camp. The rear end of De Luca's machine moving around a lot, has to run a little bit of curb as the rear end just stepped out a little bit. It's understeer though that these guys have been struggling with at the end of the races, and therefore if you've got a car that's slightly oversteering, that will be okay. The balance will come to you as the race progresses, and hopefully you'll have a strong car at the end of the 50-minute race. Now, these cars are designed to run longer. They have an hour's race in normal weekends, but that is normally shared between two drivers. And a lot of these drivers, gentlemen drivers, who will really struggle to keep concentration throughout this 50-minute encounter. Gardel now challenging Ragazzi. We saw in race one Ragazzi very strong in the early part and then faded about halfway through with very, very worn tyres. He told Gemma on the grid he's got to be a little bit more careful, and he sort of allowed Mauro Calamia, who leads this race, to take the lead of the race, and he couldn't fight him because he wanted to preserve the tyres to the end. The only person actually that was able to keep a really good pace throughout race one and somehow not destroy the tyres was Mauro Calamia. If you remember, got involved in that crash at the start, dropped to dead last, and by the end moved up into fourth position. Down the inside comes Gardel. Ragazzi does give him room, although there was probably no need. And now has compromised himself through the bus stop chicane, and Gardel is gonna have a better run of things. Ahead of them is Alberto Cola. This is the fight for third position, and here comes Gardel onto the bottom step of the podium. There's gonna be contact. Oh, they just about managed to stay away from each other there, and Gardel stays behind. Obviously, Ragazzi not particularly strong mid-corner, but very strong going in. Up through Eau Rouge, fantastic corner, one of the biggest challenges now in GT racing. Some of these drivers will come back to race the Spa 24 Hours in July. Race in other championships as well. Here now comes Gardel, Gabriel Gardel, yes! Finally makes it stick at the end of the Kemmel Straight with a better run through Eau Rouge. And just carried that momentum all the way through into the braking zone Le Camp. And now he's got to get his head down because Alberto Cola is well ahead of him, and his teammate Mauro Calamia is even further ahead. There he is, on board with him. Calamia turning into Pouon. We haven't really seen anything at all of him. His GoPro failed on us in race one when he was carving through the pack, and now he's on his own. It's working fine. Into the braking zone. At the end of the Kemmel Straight, fights further back. This is Andreas Diromedi, and he's fighting with Nico Hommerson, who's falling further and further back as this race progresses. The 30 machine is Roberto Silva, and there's his teammate making a small error through Pouon. Roberto Rainieri, that is, in the 60 car. He's lying a lot further back from this battle, which I think is for 6th position. Adrian Delena, my favourite livery of this championship. And then the 11 machine of Diromedadi and then Hummerson, and finally Roberto Silva. Now, what can Roberto Silva do about Hummerson? It's been one of our talking points throughout this race. His demise, really, from starting in third spot and just falling backwards. Silva is definitely the faster of the two, and it's now just a case of trying to find a way through. It's almost like Hummerson just had bad tyres from the beginning, wasn't it? It never really fell off a cliff. It was just slow. He misses the apex there, has to run wide, and that's, open the door for Roberto Silva. Easy pass. Didn't make him work for it at all, and then just a little bit of a lock-up on the initial phase of the braking zone for Hummerson. And that is pass done. Further ahead then. Suddenly, Gabriel Gardel has caught up with Alberto Cola. This, the battle for second position in the race, with Ragazzi now starting to close in on these two. So Cola, having pushed pretty hard in the early part of the race to get himself into this second position, now is struggling. There's no doubt about it. A different line through here. As we take a look further back. That's not too much of a worry from Sandro Bettini. And then this, the battle for fifth position. De Luca, who seems to have fallen back a little bit, now trying to find a way past Fasicciolo. Oh, and that was easy. A little mistake from the 7 machine, drops his wheel over the curb, and here comes De Luca. Thank you very much, into 5th spot. Didn't finish race 1. We haven't actually established what happened to the car, but he parked it just on the barrier on the left-hand side there. So he didn't pick up any points. Now the battle has calmed down a little bit between these three. Suddenly, Alberto Cola has a little bit of breathing space. There is our leader, Mauro Calamia, and he takes La Source. Let's ride on board and have a listen as he heads down towards Eau Rouge, just how fast he goes past the old pits and then hooks up Eau Rouge. Fantastic stuff. And we heard on board with a couple of the other guys in this morning's race dropping down a gear in the mid part of Eau Rouge, but Mauro Calamia with extra speed through there doesn't even need to do that to get the drive over the hill. He really is in a class of his own. Now Ragazzi starting to challenge Gardel. So it is swings and roundabouts in this race. It was Gardel who had the pace, and now Ragazzi trying to run through as we look at Roberto Silva challenging. Ragazzi going to try and go around the outside. Oh no, that's not going to work. You can't just squeeze him like that. Round he goes. And it was move made as well with Roberto Silva dropping down a position. Oh, what a disaster for Ragazzi. Such promise in the early part of race 1, and he fell backwards. Looked like he had the pace at the end of this race to start pressuring Gardel, and that was a silly error. Contact between the two, and he does have rear end damage, and I think he'll be out of the race. Now De Luca's managed to crawl up between these two guys. It's the battle for 5th position, by the way. Dromedari in the 11 machine that Mancini was racing this morning, and Roberto Silva still holding on to that 11th. De Luca now moving up into 6th position. I shouldn't say 11th, 5th I meant. De Luca up to 6th. A much better line through Eau Rouge, and it won't be long before he manages to get past Roberto Silva, will it? Sits in the slipstream, down the Kemmel Straight. And really, Silva should have already started to defend regardless of where he was, because De Luca has just taken the inside line. Oh, Silva later on the brakes around the outside, runs wide. He's going to come back onto the circuit, and he's going to be able to block him. Frustrating from De Luca. More speed once again through the next corner, now to the inside line. Get the braking done later. And yeah, this time the move is done, but De Silva held on for 2 corners longer than he really should have done. Now Gardel against Alan Simoni. Alberto Cola, who was being clawed back, has disappeared off into the distance. There he is. And Gardel now falling into the clutches of Simoni. Didn't have a chance to really challenge in race one. They got very, very close at the end of the race, but Simoni couldn't find a way through. What can he do about grabbing another podium here in race two? Checker flag is out for our leader. Mauro Calamia takes a dominant victory, but we're interested in this third position battle. Contact between the two. Simoni gets pushed out wide. Gardel takes the racing line. Simoni comes back across the racing line. Oh, contact between the two again, but a better drive from Gardel. He takes the third spot, just ahead of Alan Simoni. De Luca manages to hold on to fifth, Silva 6th, Dromedari 7th, and Fasicolo in 8th position, but it's all about Mauro Calamia.
From the start of the race, it was very difficult with yourself and Ragazzi, but you proved to have the right strategy with your tyres, and you kept a consistent race and pulled out a big gap.
Yeah, at the start it was very difficult to Rouge because Ragazzi was like this behind me, and after the first corner, I brake a bit later than him. I pass him, and after that I push the first 3-4 laps what I can do, and I make a small gap. And after them, every lap I was a bit faster than the other ones. But it was not so easy because it was very difficult to don't make the mistakes, and it was a long race. But I'm very happy.
With the gap that you pulled out, were you able to just take it easy a little bit and preserve the car?
Yeah, a bit, yeah, but not too easy. It was okay.
Congratulations, a great start to the year for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And there he is. A great drive in race one, not the result he would have wanted, but even better in race two. More action from the Maseratis in a few weeks' time.